Warning, the following video contains clips that some viewers may consider graphic or extremely disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I want to make sure the public's aware that if you currently own one of these reptiles, you're allowed to keep it till it's dead. So no one's telling you you have to go get rid of your pet or euthanize it. No one's from the state's going to take it away from you. So I think there's some misinformation out there, and I just want to clarify that for the people listening.
Chairman, you clarified from many of the callers raising concerns about what they do about their pets. Their pets are their pets. They will continue to be their pets. And we made sure that it was very clear, and it's unfortunate that misinformation was allowed to penetrate out there, that it was otherwise, because it gets people emotional, and that gives me pause.
Oh my God, why?
It was a mistake.
How? I reminded you 10 times! Fuck! You can't fix it. You can't fix it. What just happened?
You can get fixed.
You can't fix it. You just killed something that wasn't illegal, and it had about $100,000 worth of babies.
This is a hard one to do, and I know I'm not breaking any news with this. This happened just over a week ago on Holy Thursday. It's being called the Holy Thursday Massacre. I'm sure most of you watching this have already heard about this, have already watched Nerd's video on it, US Ark's videos on it. Andy Gabbs did a great video on it. But I feel like it's something I need to talk about. I hate doing these kinds of videos. I hate that these things happen at all. I want this channel to be about positivity. I want it to be joyful and happy and, you know, maybe changing people's perspectives on our scaly friends. But this story, it can't not be talked about. So a little backstory, this man had over 100 snakes. He had contacted the FWC to let them know that he was trying to rehome them because they're no longer legal to keep in the state of Florida, and they gave him a deadline. He was able to rehome a majority of his snakes, but he ended up with 34 reticulated pythons and Burmese pythons left. He needed an extension. So under the guise of doing an inspection, the FWC showed up at this man's facility in Florida, arrested him, and charged him with 2 criminal charges per snake, resulting in 72 charges. And this is where it gets really dark. They told him that they had to euthanize the snakes. He told them multiple times that he also had a boa in that room, which is completely legal for him to have still in the state of Florida, and that boa had $100,000 worth of babies in it. That boa was pregnant. So the officers kept the man on the other side of the wall, went in, and killed all of those snakes. Not just the Burmese pythons, not just the reticulated pythons. They killed the boa as well. And this is the part that I want to break down. I think this whole thing is horrible. I think they should have allowed him to rehome them, given him more time. But this is the part that really gets me and really makes me angry. And it's that I believe they did this on purpose. This is just my opinion. This is just my people reading thoughts. But let's watch the video and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So the video I'm about to show you, I'm only going to show you sections of it. Discretion is advised. This is hard to watch. I did show this to my kids because although it's hard to watch, I feel like it's something that does need to be talked about, as I've already said. So here's the video. I'm going to break it down as we go.
We're both on the same page. If we don't mind killing something, if it's suffering.
The officer just to the right of the screen has just expressed this is sad, and he feels kind of uncomfortable about it. If you look at Blue Shirt there, he tries to reassure him using some funny wording that doesn't quite make sense. Now Blue Shirt makes it painfully obvious that he is aware of the camera. He looks at it multiple times during this entire fiasco. Since he's aware he's being filmed, this is obviously going to affect his behavior, but it doesn't stop what he does next. Keep an eye on his body language.
Yeah, you don't have to hit it that hard, I think, was right. No, you're fine. Your palms. Your palms gonna hurt. Yeah.
Now pay close attention here. This is the first of many times he looks directly at the boa enclosure. Throughout the video, he's glancing at the boa enclosure and the camera.
Those were allegedly the tame ones. Of the big ones. Let's tap them on this.
Remember, this is the one that struck it.
So now apparently these guys can remember which ones he said were the tame ones, and they can remember which one struck, but not which one they weren't supposed to kill. And once again, he looks directly at the enclosure and directly at the camera.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Stretch them out where it comes from. And watch your feet, you know what we do. Right? There's that. Quick.
Now this is the last time we see him look directly at the enclosure and then back at the snake and then back at the enclosure. To me, this double take looks faked. But if it was just at this moment that he realized what he did, the next part most certainly is faked. Now remember, whether he had planned this prior or he just realized it in the last clip, he knows what happened. And yet here you have him clearly faking surprise. So he was planning on pretending like he didn't know what happened, and then when his colleague caught it, he acted surprised for the camera. This man is a bad actor, acting badly. Look at his face here. You can tell he knows and knew beforehand exactly what he was doing. And I don't know if that is a look of guilt or shame or fear of being in trouble. That's what it reads as to me. You see him walk around the other guy, who then looks at the tag and does this fake surprise thing, and I swear it looks so fake to me. As soon as he does that, the other guy reacts. He doesn't even have to explain how they effed up. He just goes, oh, and this guy goes, oh no, like he knows immediately what he did. There's no like, what do you mean? What did we do? He knows right away. So this is my analysis on this. I believe these guys are doing a difficult job. I believe there are a couple of bad apples. I think that they have a personal belief that there's no distinction between a reticulated python or Burmese python and a boa, because they're still finding these animals out in the Everglades, and these animals have been released. I think that they believe it's just a matter of time until the boas are outlawed as well. So they allowed a personal feeling about these animals to affect their judgment this day. I don't think it was an accident. I don't think it was necessarily malicious, but I do think it was 100% wrong. And the absolute most frustrating part about all of this is when they introduced this law, they sat down, they had a conference, and they specifically stated, no one is coming to take your animals from you. Sounds familiar. Now we are seeing in cold, hard video footage that this is not the case. So what can we do about it? First of all, continue to support US Ark and go to US Ark's page, their website, their YouTube, their Instagram. I'm going to link all of those below. They have a lot more information on this. And also call the governor's office and ask them what they're doing about this. What is their official statement on this? I'm going to leave that information right here. I've heard lately that a lot of the calls are going to voicemail and the voicemail boxes are full, which means we're doing a good job, hopefully. So if you can't get through on the phone, send them an email, because we need to make some noise about this. I don't want to get political on here. I am actually very middle of the road on a lot of things. I can see both sides of a lot of issues, and I try to be that way. But I will say, it is no wonder that nobody wants to register other things. You know what I mean? We're not coming for your snakes. This guy even had his snakes microchipped, which I think is a great way to get around banning certain species. Like if your snake gets out and eats someone's dog, They scan the snake, that's your responsibility. You go to jail for that. Or if that snake escapes, you find it on your tracker and bring it back. I think microchipping these animals is the answer. I don't think banning them is the answer, but I'm just a little guy on YouTube. I don't have any pull. So we need to be calling the office of the governor. Call Governor DeSantis' office. If you can't get through, if the voicemail is full, send them an email. Make our voices heard, because this is some bull. Sorry. This whole thing just makes me so angry. So that's really all I have on this. If more updates come out, I will be sure to make a video on it in a more timely manner than this. It just took me a second to process what was actually going on here. And I had to watch a bunch of other people's videos and read the report from US Ark and all of that. And I wasn't even sure I wanted to make a video because it's such a heavy topic and I don't want this channel to be about that. But if we don't talk about the disturbing things that happen, they're just gonna keep happening. Thank you guys so much for watching. This video wasn't very planned out. That's why you have the wicked glare in the back here. I just wanted to do this real quick and get this out there. Please leave this video a like so that it does kind of get out there a little bit more. I know there are a lot of videos that already are out there, which is great, but the more we can get out there, the better. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Tonight, a snake scandal in Florida.
The bull is dead. What? The bull. The pregnant bull. No. No. Oh my God, that guy's gonna flip out.
According to the United States Association of Reptile Keepers, or US Ark, this video shows officers with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission accidentally killing a pet boa constrictor that was pregnant with up to $100,000 worth of other snakes. And when the officers realized their alleged mistake, disbelief. One officer immediately raising his hands to his head and appearing to mouth, "We messed up." And 20 minutes later, at least one officer heard admitting to the error.
Is there a way to maybe save the babies?
Oh no, dude. This guy's gonna go bananas. Oh my God, why?
It was a mistake.
The video was taken by snake breeder Chris Coffey, who US Ark says legally owned reticulated and Burmese pythons until a ban in 2021.
I can't watch it. Those animals mean a lot to me. It's like watching someone kill my kids.
According to the agency, he was unable to rehome more than 30 of them, which after a lengthy court battle were killed by those FWC officers on April 6.
My back was against the wall. There was nothing I can do.
Coffey told NBC Miami his snakes were being stored at a warehouse in West Palm Beach and claims he warned the officers not to kill the 10-year-old boa constrictor, which was legally owned.
A lot of people have them as pets, and they're just wonderful snakes. They're generally very friendly.
In a statement to NBC News about the incident, the FWC said, while complying with the facility's owner's request to euthanize the relinquished pythons, officers inadvertently euthanized a boa constrictor, which was not on the list of dozens of snakes relinquished. The FWC will examine if there are appropriate methods to avoid similar inadvertent events from occurring in the future. But US Ark says the error is unacceptable.
They're not difficult to tell apart, and especially an officer empowered to kill animals should be able to identify them correctly before basically sentencing them to death.
Now that reptile owner without a pet he says he raised since she was a baby.
You can't fix it. You just killed something that wasn't illegal.
Maya Eaglin, NBC News.